What if Filipinos were British? Filipinos love fiestas, basketball, and karaoke. But what if I told you we could have been sipping tea, eating fish and chips, and debating whether pineapple belongs on pizza, all with a posh British accent? Yes, mga kababayan, this almost happened. The British actually ruled the Philippines. But don't get too excited. It lasted for only 18 months, from 1762 to 1764. Just when we were about to swap kuya and ate for sir and madam, the British packed their bags and handed Manila back to Spain. But what if, plot twist, they never left? Would we have had double-decker jeepneys? Would we be queuing properly instead of shoving our way into buses? Would our passports be among the strongest in the world? Well, let's spill some English breakfast tea and imagine how life would have been if the British had stayed longer. When Spain arrived in the Philippines, their first order of business: convert everyone to Catholicism, collect taxes, and force Filipinos into labor. Who doesn't love working for free, right? Under Spanish rule, friars controlled everything: land, education, and even what people could read and think. But when the British took over Manila, they had a completely different approach: trade. Instead of forcing Filipinos to build churches and galleons without pay, the British opened Manila to international business, allowing freer trade and economic activity. They even brought Indian sepoy soldiers, some of whom settled and married Filipinas. Imagine if they stayed. Instead of centuries of forced labor, we could have been building industries and becoming an Asian financial powerhouse, just like Hong Kong and Singapore. Let's take a look at some of Britain's former colonies. Hong Kong, a global financial beast. Singapore, super rich, super clean, super strict about chewing gum. Malaysia, strong economy, solid infrastructure. India, a tech and business giant. Now, let's dream a little. Manila, the London of Asia, a financial hub where people actually follow traffic rules. Imagine that. Cebu, the Hong Kong of the Philippines, with world-class infrastructure and business districts. Davao, the Singapore of the Philippines, organized, clean, and not flooded after 10 minutes of rain. Clark, Pampanga, the Kuala Lumpur of the Philippines, thriving in trade and tourism. Iligan City, the Birmingham of the Philippines, an industrial powerhouse where Maria Cristina Falls fuels both nature and progress. Legazpi City, the Melbourne of the Philippines, a modern, highly livable city where innovation and progress rise alongside Mayon's perfect cone. Now tell me, would you rather have all this or another 300 years of taxation, forced labor, and friars playing real-life Monopoly with Filipino lands? Under Spanish rule, education wasn't exactly a priority. Filipinos were mainly taught how to pray, obey, and pay taxes. Critical thinking? Nah, too dangerous. But the British? They established some of the best universities in their colonies. If they had stayed, we could have had world-class education. No need to go abroad for an Oxford-like degree. Stronger English proficiency. Imagine every Filipino speaking with a legit British accent. Instead, the Spanish kept Filipinos uneducated so they wouldn't question their rule. More efficient transport system. The British were pioneers in railway systems, and if they had developed our infrastructure, we could have had a railway network as extensive as India's, or even an underground metro like London's Tube. Imagine zipping through Metro Manila in clean, efficient trains, instead of enduring hours in EDSA traffic. Sounds like a dream, right? Stronger economy. Under Spanish rule, trade was restricted to protect their monopoly. But the British were known for free trade. If they had stayed, the Philippines could have been a major business hub much earlier, with thriving ports and global trade connections. Manila could have been the Singapore of the Philippines, a sleek, ultra-modern financial hub, attracting global investments with world-class infrastructure and an efficient economy. Cebu could have been the Hong Kong of the Philippines, a vibrant, high-energy trade and financial center, bustling with multinational businesses and world-class commerce. More sports opportunities. If we had remained under British rule, we could have competed in global sports events under the British Commonwealth, gaining more international exposure and funding. Who knows? Maybe we'd have more Olympic medals, and football, yes, football, not basketball, might have been our national obsession. Different cultural influences. British influence could have also shaped our legal system, governance, and even pop culture. Instead of growing up watching Spanish telenovelas, maybe we'd have been obsessed with British dramas and football leagues. And instead of celebrating fiestas with lechon, we'd be having Sunday roast with Yorkshire pudding. Would Filipinos have had British accents? Imagine this. You walk into a sari-sari store, and instead of hearing, "Ate, may soft drinks ka?" you hear, "Pardon me, madam, but might I trouble you for a fizzy beverage?" Sounds hilarious, right? But if the British had stayed, English might have been our only official language. Just like in Singapore, no more nosebleed moments during job interviews. Commonwealth membership perks. Being part of the British Commonwealth comes with major perks. Easier visas to the UK, Canada, and Australia, better global job opportunities. A stronger passport. Singaporeans and Malaysians travel visa-free to places Filipinos can only dream of visiting. Had the Philippines remained British, we'd probably be strolling through London today without a visa, enjoying Big Ben and saying, "Cheerio, mate," instead of "Pahinging Barya, Panglod lang." So, would you have preferred British rule? Now, before anyone gets too emotional, yes, every colonial power had its bad side. Even the British weren't perfect. Looking at you, India's struggles under colonial rule. But compared to Spain, Spanish rule, forced labor, heavy taxation, kept Filipinos uneducated, friars controlling everything, British rule in other colonies, modern infrastructure, trade and economic growth, world-class education, efficient government systems. So, had the British stayed, would we be richer, smarter, more disciplined? Would we have been the Singapore of the Pacific? Let me know in the comments. But of course, history took a different path. The British left, the Spanish stayed for another century, and the rest is history. Would we have been better off? Maybe, maybe not. But one thing's for sure. Imagining these what-ifs makes history a lot more fun. This is it for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and share it with your friends. Let's spread the fun, shall we? And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe for more eye-opening, thought-provoking, and downright entertaining takes on history, culture, and everything in between. See you in the next one.